On today's Witch Word of the Day, Kevin, wait until you hear this word that I found that you gave to me to use as Witch Word of the Day. The word is kabouter. Kabouter is a noun, and these are tiny people, about 10 to 15 centimeters tall, 4 to 6 inches for those of us with the imperial system.
So just America. Pretty much just America.
Yeah. Just us. Nobody else is, because we're assholes.
Right.
Who live in or near houses and stables, are in hills, in forests, are on heaths. Kabouter is the Dutch word for gnome, or as most people say it, gnome.
And why is the G silent?
Why is the G silent? It's not where you think it would be. Kabouter is the Dutch word for gnome, and books about the subject inspired shows like The World of David the Gnome. I used to love that show. Him and his wife used to have adventures in the forest. Love is considered an aspect of truth, so gnomes will marry for love, often after a long and patient courtship. I'm in one of those right now, and I'm the one with the impatience. Not every gnome gets married, and there is no particular pressure to be married in gnomish society. When they occur, marriages are described either as private affairs or as lavish, week-long celebrations featuring plays and concerts. Each morning representing a quality of a good spouse, a healer, friend, lover, caretaker, beloved, partner, and opponent.
Interesting. What fun, huh?
What fun! Oh!
Yeah, I wanted a picture of David and Lisa because they're super cute. Love. And because of the tiny book that this is, so I thought it was fitting.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Can you hear the words of the witches? Yeah, the words of the witches.
Welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published lore of the Charmed universe.
In this night and in this hour, we call upon our fanboy power, bringing education and stupefaction to all of you.
Together, we will use our knowledge and reverence abundantly, but also find ourselves sassy and delightful.
Which is why we will truly be charmed. Serenade me, bitch.
Yeah, spell worders, we are here at Words of the Witches, episode 120. We are at 120. Yes. And I am your resident charmed resource, Kevin.
And I'm Sean, and I just love being serenaded in love juices.
Oh, revel in the juices.
Oh.
Oh, we have a fun little book to talk about today. But before we get to that, I have lots of little announcements. Ooh. So, first of all, we haven't mentioned it on this podcast yet, but I recently put out a print version of Charmed the Musical, of which your heart makes. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed the musical, you can now buy it to read. And it comes in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. The hardcover is like a special edition because it's got like a little gallery. It's got pictures of the cast in there. And it's all in full color and full pages. Amazon made me charge more for the hardcover, so I tried to justify the price by adding things.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. You have yours. How do you enjoy it? How does it look?
I enjoy very mucho. It's very nice to look at. There's a lot to look at. I like that I have an immortal piece of this wonderful musical that you and I just forgot. Aaron wrote together.
Yes. So
sorry,
beautiful.
Aaron.
Brain fart. It's been a long day. So yeah. So if you are interested, or because I've had some people from France and Italy said that, because English wasn't their first language, this has helped them to be able to translate it and understand it better.
Oh, cool.
And I think it's good to know who's talking or to know what's happening when you can actually read it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. I also wanted to mention that last episode during our recording, I never mentioned the second canonical error of the section of the Book of Three. I said there's two things, and I went right to the Todd Tucker one, and then because that was my second one, I just moved on. So it is in there. I did put it in there, but I had to put it in post, which is why the audio sounds different. But I wanted to get your real thoughts on it because you didn't get to comment on it. So the other canonical error was that Holly and Alyssa. It said that Holly and Alyssa became producers in season 3, when it actually happened in season 5. Yeah, season 3 would have been a really weird time to be producers, especially if Shannon was there.
Yeah, I would think if anything, Shannon would get the producer over the two of them. So that felt
Yeah.
really early to me.
I mean, and it would just add this whole other drama to why she left. Like, could you imagine? Oh God.
Yeah.
So season 5 people, why would you put season 3 multiple times? I don't understand why that was in there. So yeah, right in the wrongs.
Yep.
I also thought this was funny. I don't know if you know this, because that doesn't happen for everything, but if you search Words of the Witches on Google, I get like AI generated like results. Like they tell me something.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna try it.
Try it.
Do you put Words of the Witches podcast or just Words of the
No,
Witches?
just Words of the Witches.
Okay. Let's take out podcast.
And Google AI generates stuff.
It does. There are multiple matches for Words of the Witches, including a book and a podcast. Wow.
But it's funny because almost every time I search it, it says something different about it.
Oh.
So, but I thought it would be fun to read some of the things that it said for me. I did it a few months ago, and the first time it said, Words of the Witches may also refer to a podcast about Charmed. Some say the podcast is great, and that it's fun to hear from the other fans of the show. So that was when I did it months ago. Then I did it yesterday, and it said, Words of the Witches is a podcast that explores the Charmed novels and comic books in relation to the TV series. The podcast's host, Kevin, and composer Aaron have discussed the Charmed musical project on the podcast. Some listeners have praised the podcast for being funny and providing a way to get to the story of each comic.
Oh, okay.
And then today, when I did it, it completely changed again. It says, a podcast that explores the Charmed TV series, novels, and comic books. The podcast includes interviews with the show's cast, crew, and producers. It also discusses the on-set drama and Brad Kern.
Oh.
It's so weird.
What I get today is a podcast that explores the Charmed universe through the novels, comic books, magazines, and other published works. The podcast features interviews with the show's cast, crew, and producers and discusses behind-the-scenes drama.
Every time you type up the Words of the Witches, you're going to get a fun result. So, I'm going to propose that to listeners. You go ahead and Google Words of the Witches and then send in what it said to you. And that might be a fun little game.
Yeah.
But they're all really nice. They're all really complimentary. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it. It's almost like reviews by the internet.
Yeah.
All right. I did want to go over our poll. And if you remember last week, we had various small results for the, do you prefer season 1 or season 5? I have the final results. They're still the same, but the amount of votes are different. So 221, 80% said season 1, and 54 people said season 5, 20%.
Oh, wow.
But the one for last week was, what TV job would you want? If you worked on TV, what job would you want? And the options were director, costumer / makeup artist, stunt coordinator, or post-production. You said director, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said post-production. Let's see what the listeners, the voters, have spoken. So the one with the least amount of votes is stunt coordinator. Only 5 votes. 5%.
Wow.
Then it was costumer and makeup, 23 votes, 25%. And director and post-production were very close. Post-production got 30 votes, 33%, and director got 34 votes, 37%. So, cool. And then I wanted to discuss a little bit of my own personal Charmed drama with you.
Oh, yeah, you teased me with this.
I did tease you with this because I had some things going on this weekend. So, okay, let's break it down. So I'm in a bunch of Charmed Facebook groups, and one of them is about, collectors, people who are building their Charmed collection, and I would, really be active in there getting stuff or posting about the podcast. And a few months ago, I noticed that I could not find it in my search anymore. I couldn't access it. I'm like, what happened? So I was messaging people like, am I blocked? Is it still around? Did it get deleted? What's going on? Turns out it was still around. They removed me from the group without any warning, without telling me anything. And I'm like, what? Qua? What did I do?
Qua? Yeah.
So I had Ethan Hinkle, who is on this podcast, a great friend. He does a lot of really cool charm things. He made my window. He makes Book of Shadows things. But he was like inquiring for me and asking moderators. He told me who the moderators were, the admins were, and I was messaging them all. I'm like, what is going on? Why did you remove me from this? Turns out, because I posted like on the day or the day after Shannon's death about the podcast, they thought I was a horrible person and like trying to gain something by posting like my podcast, like self promotion, using the death as a way to self promote. And I posted the Shannon Doherty tribute and I posted the musical, and I posted those because those were my, the podcast is my form of self expression, and those were my way to talk about it and what she meant to me and what I was feeling, and I thought it would help others. But they didn't see it that way. They thought I was insensitive and out of touch. So I do understand how that could come across that way, but these are admins in there, people who know me and they know my reputation, they know who I am. They really think I would like try to like distance Shannon's like legacy like that. So I don't know. I was really mad. So I explained to them that that was my way of healing and my way of grieving and processing, and I thought it could help other people. They did accept me back in, but I it's weird they didn't even give me the opportunity to explain that. I think they told me it was because of the emotions at the time. It was very fresh. So
Okay.
but I was butthurt for quite a while.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people would help you with your butt.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, sure they would. Yes. But yeah, Ethan was very supportive, and it was really nice. And most of because it was weird because one of the people told them that it was a group decision, but when I was asking admins, most of them weren't even aware of it or knew anything about it. So it was like, I felt like it was only one person making the decision. It was a little shady.
Yeah, that's very shady. I don't like that. They should have at least told you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That feels like maybe someone was jealous or just doesn't like you, and this was an excuse.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking too. But so, but everything's back. Everything's good. Just thanks everyone who supported me. But speaking of, I do feel like we do have some trolls, because I told you how I would look back at some of our iTunes reviews and we got all these random 1-star ratings on not just this show, but all of our shows. So I feel like I have a troll that was going out there, not even giving reasons, and just like listing 1 star because they hated me and jealous of me.
I know, that's the worst when you get a bad review and they don't even tell you why. Like, at least let me grow through your review. That means you don't even care.
Right. It's just you're bitter and don't even have a good reason.
Yep.
So, all right, that's all done. Let's get into some love. Away from the hate, we're gonna get into the love.
Yeah. Love, serenade me.
So today we are talking about Charmed, the Book of Love Spells, written by Paul Rutitis. Yes, very popular name around here. It was published September 8th, 2004, which was actually 4 days before the season 7 premiere.
It looks so cute. It looks so funny in your hand. In your big man hands.
My big man hands.
Book in your big man hands.
So, for those who are not aware, this is a very tiny book. And this is the only book I'm going to give these statistics for. The dimensions are 2.75 by 0.75 by 3.25 inches. Teeny tiny. Smaller than a gnome. Smaller than a kabouter. So little bitty. It weighs 2.4 ounces. And it has 128 pages.
Oh my god, that's a lot of pages to that little book.
Yeah, 128 pages. Teeny tiny little pages. Yeah, it's surprisingly. Yeah. And the cover is it's the same pictures that they used for the Book of 3, season 5 promo picture, but I do love the font here. It says Charmed, the Book of Love Spells with 2 triquetras, and it's like a metallic gold shimmery shiny thing. That's really pretty to me. has a back cover of just another season 5 picture, but it has like the description of the book between the two inside folds. So I have to go from the front fold to the back fold, and that tells me the back of the description of the book. So I'll read that.
Okay.
It says, Charmed, the Book of Love Spells. Enter the magical world of the charmed ones and fall under the spell of the enchanting Halliwell sisters. Are they just lucky in love, or have they had a little help from the incantations, potions, and inside information included? Continued on Backflap. Included in this book. Being a witch has its advantages. Piper, Phoebe, and Paige now share some of their secrets, so guard them wisely. Charmed, the Book of Love Spells is a must-have companion for this hit and hip TV show. Ooh, hip.
Ooh.
And this book was also included in one of the Box of Shadows, which was that fan mail kind of Charmed mailing box, monthly mailbox, 4 times a year. I have all of them. But this was included in there as well. I'm like, I already have this. But so I have 2. I have doubles of a lot of stuff. So I'm planning a giveaway or something, or a raffle for the future of this podcast. So everyone keep in tune for that. But yeah, I didn't ask you to buy this book or read this book because this is such a minor book in terms of our published coverage. So since I'm really the only one who read it here, it will be me talking to you a lot.
Serenading.
Yeah, please tell me to shut up if you find something you want to say along the way, though. So
Okay. You asked for it.
So it starts off with the
Shut up.
introduction.
I just want
Oh,
to
no!
say hi. I just want to say hi.
Hi, Sean. Hi. But the introduction was pretty much just the basic premise of the show. It's like, it talks about Charmed. It's about 3 sisters who happen to be witches. Ooh, okay, cool. Got it? Good. And then it went into a good spells section. And this is the largest section of the book. It's pretty much just a bunch of spells from the show. 25 of them are in this section. I'm not going to read them all, but it has like the Lost and Found spell. It says True Love initial spell from, with the apple. This is the Perfect Man spell. Good Luck spell. Like all these things. Some of them are not the names of the actual spells. They like repurpose them with another name to like give it a romantic twist, which I'm like, that's not the name of the spell. That's not what the spell's for, but okay.
Okay.
Like, if you want to be lovey-dovey, let's go. So yeah, and then it moves on to dark spells. And the dark spells, there's 8 here. One is to vanquish a warlock boyfriend, to force someone to love you, to awaken from poison, view hated enemies, and they do tell you where they give you the spell, and then they give you the episode that they're from. Oh, then they have on page 50 spell reversals, and this was little anecdotes of things they reverse spells, like guardian spirits, hear our plea, annul this magic, let it be. That was what they used to reverse Paige's spell that gave her the big boobs.
Boobs.
And then they have a section called Magical Beings. And this is the weirdest part of the book because it just lists. It says, here are magical beings from Charmed. And this is the list of everything in there. Witches, warlocks, white letters, dark letters, Cupid, Drazi, Angel of Destiny, empaths, muses, mermaids, unicorns, familiars, other mythical creatures, demons, the source, Hecate, demon of fear, Wendigo, succubus, Crito, Andress, banshee, evil enchantress, and siren. It was a big list, also kind of a random list, because it's clearly not everything that they had in the show, but it's funny because their descriptions of those were actually given, like, showcasing parts of their purpose or MO that's romantic related, that's love related.
Okay.
I gotta find one, like, someone you wouldn't think is, like, love related. Like, Barbas is here.
I was just thinking Demon of Fear.
Demon of Fear. Yeah. Here it goes. Oh yeah, that's why. That's why. It says, to combat this demon, trust in the greatest power against fear, love. So that's why he's in there.
Okay.
So all of these have some kind of connection to a love adjacent thing, and that's why they're in here. Kill the Wendigo that turned you by melting its heart of ice. Get it? Heart of ice. So that's why they're selected. Yeah. Then it has magical and cursed objects, and here it lists the protection ring, from Thank You for Not Morphine, that they saved their father. They have the Grams' cursed ring. They have the Lhasa warrior fertility goddess that Rex and Hannah were going to give to Hecate on the wedding. Melinda Warren's blessing cup. And then it says magical pheromones, fairy dust, and a rose circle.
Okay.
And this was, it says, a dozen white roses placed in a circle represents nature, desire, and fertility, which was in Womb Raider. And then it gives a whole section about herbs, which, okay, it's pretty much just a glossary of herbs that you can use in witchcraft. Not too exciting. Can you read these little words?
Look at those little words.
So then it moved on to rules, beliefs, and superstitions. And this is just general, like, things they've learned from Charmed. And I'll read these. It says, all good magical power comes from the heart. If a demon reads a spell from the Book of Shadows backward, it erases the spell from the book, thereby reanimating the being the spell vanquished. With evil lurking and good magic erased, the book slowly turns evil. There is a 48-hour window of opportunity before a witch chooses to use her powers for good or evil, in which she can be swayed either way. Relationships that start on Friday the 13th are doomed. Yeah, superstitions, that's something that Piper said. But that's not fact. That's just something she believed. The direction in which a ladybug flies is where you'll find your ideal mate. And I actually talked about this, and I think that's why, part of why Phoebe nicknamed her daughter Ladybug, because she's like, I found my true mate, and you're a result of that ladybug. And then it has a list of just general rituals, and here they have the dark wedding ceremony from Bride and Gloom, the dark marriage from Merry Go Round, Piper and Leo's hand fasting vows are in here, the blessing of a newborn, the Wickening, this is all listed in here. And the blessing of a newborn is just pretty much what Piper says to Wyatt. It's like, you are safe, you are loved, and you are wise. I don't think that's really a blessing. I think she was just telling him that, but sure.
Sure.
And then it has the funeral ceremony of Prue. And then there was just some quotes, a section of quotes, which I have comments for in canonical because they still get them wrong. And then after that quotes, there was a section of charmed ones, and that's the book.
Wow. I feel serenaded.
Yeah, I was not reading you the spells, but
I know. In my head,
but
you
yeah,
were.
So, with the knowledge of this book, what are your general feelings about it?
I think it's cute. I think it's a cute like collector's item, and I like that it focuses on the power of love. It makes it the very like positive thing. It seems a little froofy. Like I think only it would be for like hardcore collectors. But yeah, it's cute. I'm choking.
Okay. Merman! But yeah, you're right. This is kind of froofy. It is adorable. Like if you want something small and like, I think it would be a perfect little Valentine's Day gift for a Charmed fan in your life. I had someone write into me that they said they bought this and then they were disappointed when they saw that's how small it was. And I remember when it came out, I think there was a little bit of a shock when you see it, like, oh my goodness, where is it?
Yeah.
Bottom thoughts. There are black pages in here, and the black pages especially are way too easily prone to fingerprints. I feel like I should wear gloves. Like I'm like daintily flipping through the tiny little book. I need to be a little fairy or something. But I almost feel like I need to wear gloves when I wear this so I don't get fingerprints on the black pages.
Yeah.
So that's annoying to me. And overall, yeah, I think it's cute, but wholly unnecessary, especially after the Book of Three, where any info that's in this book is already in that book, but in much greater detail.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing to come out after the Book of Three. And so now let's get into the canonical section.
Canonical.
For as tiny as it is, I have quite a few canonical errors.
Oh no.
They market the Lost and Found spell as to find a lost love, and it doesn't even provide the full spell. Oh, there it is. Okay, to find a lost love. It says, lead me to the one I cannot find, restore that and my peace of mind. They totally cut out the guardian spirits. I ask your charity, lend me your focus and clarity. None of that's in here. I'm like, where's the rest of the spell? I mentioned this. I hate that the true purpose of what many of these spells did in the show are renamed to present a romantic purpose, because that's totally misinformation.
True.
Like that's not what they were for. That's not what they did in the show. I mean, sure they probably could be used that way, but that's not what they are initially for, and that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting because I remember when we covered the Book of Three, I talked about the safety spell that they used in Thank You for Not Morphine and how they had what was written in the Book of Shadows, but it's not what they said in the show. Here, they have what they said, but not what's written in the Book of Shadows, so they reversed it.
Huh.
So they say save Sisters 3, now he does call, not save us Sisters 3. So that was kind of all right. The To Call a Lost Witch spell in here is credited to the episode Brain Drain, which I was like, why Brain Drain? I mean, yes, it was used in that episode, but it first came up in Charmed Again. It could have been Charmed Again. It could have been Womb Raider. It could have been Soul Survivor. You could have listed other episodes. Why Brain Drain? It failed in Brain Drain. So, yeah, there's something to note. They considered the Aura Cleanse spell, the one that Richard cast and used Karma, as a spell reversal. I'm like, no. That actually summoned a spirit that possessed Phoebe of Matahari, so it's not really a spell reversal. It's just cleansing your aura. So there's that. I didn't really like that. Okay. Piper and Leo's wedding vows are at the end of this, and they had them in the Book of Three, and they were wrong in that. Remember how mad I was?
Yes.
And this one, they're wrong again.
Oh no!
And instead of, it's closer, but instead of, always and forever, say always and forever, so mote it be. It says forever and always. I'm like, come on, you were so close. You couldn't get it right. I'm just, it's baffling sometimes how close you are. I'm like, why didn't you double check this? Do you watch the episodes? Okay, and then for Prue's, like a witch's funeral ceremony, they include what is printed actually in Prue's funeral program. This is not what is stated in the episode. The priestess in the episode is completely saying something different, but this is what they put in here, what was written in the actual program, which you don't even get to see the full thing of in the episode, I don't think. But they did include an error in it. They put at the end, "Oh, blessed spirit, we bid you await a new destiny," which it should be, "We bid you farewell, for you await a new destiny."
Mm.
So I was like, I don't know if that's a typo or like the words got cut off or what.
It was a typo.
Typo. Okay, you're just telling me how it is.
I'm trying to help poor Paul.
Poor Paul, I know. And then there's 2 misquotes in here in the quote section. So they misquote Grams here. They put, "Remember, if love's a quest, then marriage is the conquest." And I put this in my musical too. It's like, it's supposed to be, if love is the quest, then marriage is the conquest.
Okay.
If love's a quest is not, you're missing some words there. There's no, yeah. So that's wrong. And then they misquote Piper in Size Matters. They actually put a whole conversation of Size Matters in here. It says, "Paige, I still feel terrible. How do you guys get over the?" Oh, that's another. Oh, they misquoted Paige too. I just realized reading it now. Because she says, "How do you get over these things?" And she's supposed to be, "How do you guys get over these things?" It's weird that they're on my brain like that. That I know that per verbatim
really
what they say. It's like, how psychotic am I?
I choose not to answer that.
Actually, this is all wrong. She says, "Last time I was here with Finn. How do you guys get over these things?" Is what it should be. So even I still feel terrible. That's not right either. Where did they get this quote from? Anyway, so Paige is wrong. It's supposed to be, "Last time I was here with Finn. How do you guys get over these things?" Okay. And then it says Piper. It says, "You don't, but you learn with experiences that you can't dwell on the losses. You have to," when it should be, "You kind of have to." She says, "You kind of have to."
You kind of have
says,
to.
Yeah, and Paige is like, "Heart in your heart," and she says, "Protect your heart." So maybe what's actually recorded is off script too. So if they're basing it off script, what was written in the script and that was actually said, maybe that's where the discrepancies come from.
That would make sense. That's a good point.
Yeah. And that's the book. That's all my canonical errors. We are done. The last thing is Pierce for Pole.
Piper.
You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige.
Another P, imagine that.
P is for poll. And the poll this week is, do you consider yourself more romantic or more sexual?
That's a good question. I think I would be more sexual. I'm a horny toad. Ribbit.
Ouch, you're so horny.
Oh.
I'm the same. I'm definitely more sexual. I'm a Scorpio. I'm like, yeah, ravenous all the time. And I have romantic feelings. I like loving people and I like cuddling people, but I don't get lovey-dovey. I don't get like really into that Valentine's Day shtick all the time. So
I will say it has been a challenge. This is a little about Sean, because I do have those romantic tendencies too. I like the I love yous, I like the cuddles, and now I'm with someone, Alan, who is not like that at all. So it has been a challenge. We both had to adapt to like me being less lovey and him being more lovey. So you work it out when you care.
compromise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did it. Episode 120. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Sean Perrette on Instagram. That'll link you to my book, all of our other podcasts. Right now we're doing Solving for X and X-Men podcast. We also have videos you can watch on TikTok or YouTube. And my book, which is Dream of Waking. Yay!
Yay.
I'm giggly.
Giggles. All right.
Giggles.
Yes. All right. You can find this podcast at Words of the Witches, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Words of Witches on Twitter, X, and you can follow my personal Instagram, KJEEZY87. Find the musical script on Amazon if you feel like that. Next week, we will be Ribbit, horny toad. Next week, we will be starting the book Totally Charmed, which I am so excited for. This is a collection of essays that people were writing about the show. And we're going to have a lot of fun with that book. So look forward to that. And we will see you soon, Spell Worders. Your destiny still
awaits.
Thank you. You did it. Love. Love. I want your love. Okay.